Hey, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't been here before, we talk about everything there is to know about eating, sleeping, and having fun and playing in the Denver metro area. Now, I'm up here in the beautiful foothills this weekend, and I thought I'd talk to you about buying land. So stay tuned, and if you haven't been to my channel before, make sure you smash that like button and leave me a comment below about any other videos that you'd like to see. Also, we help a ton of people here in the Denver metro area and in the foothills, so make sure you reach out to me any way you can. Either email me or text me. I'm always happy to help. Obviously, it's fall here in Colorado. We've got the beautiful aspen trees around me. All the trees are changing color, so I thought I would do a video on buying land in Colorado while I'm up here in the beautiful aspens and having the colors change. Also had just gone to a piece of land that I have some clients that are looking at buying, and thought I'd talk to you about some of the things that you need to be concerned about when you're buying land, or as my lender would say, buying a piece of dirt. First of all, a lot of people think might be a lot less expensive to purchase land and then build on the property. Now, a lot of that has very different factors. It depends on the price of the land, where it's located, how hard it is to get people up there to work on it. So it's really a case-by-case situation. So you really have to look at where you want to be and what you're planning to do with the land in order to see if it is affordable or not. So let's talk about the top 5 things that you need to think about if you're thinking about purchasing land. Now, number 1, let's talk about where the land is. So do you want the land to be, what are you looking at, Dixie? Are you prowling on something? Sorry, my dog's with me and she started like scouting, like she was gonna go pounce on something. So I wanted to make sure that there's no wildlife coming after me. Anyway, so item number 1 is you want to know where it's going to be. Where's your build site going to be? Is it flat or is it on a hill? Now, if it's on a hill, you're probably going to have awesome views, which is what everybody wants, right? But you have to think about excavating and how you're going to build the property. And that means, getting somebody to work up plans on how you're going to build that. And usually the first thing in the process when you talk about building, the first thing you have to do from a permitting standpoint is put in a driveway. And that might be different from county to county, but most of the counties that are kind of close to Denver, if you're living in the mountains, that's the first thing you have to do when it comes to building. Item number 2 is water. Where are you going to get water for your piece of land that you're going to build on? Is it going to be a well? Are you in a place that is actually subdivided and already has, a septic system that's nearby that you can tap into? I think on one of my videos I talked about some areas. There's areas in Evergreen and areas up by Idaho Springs that have neighborhoods that are actually tapped into a water and sewer line. But some of those also come with costs, and some of them are either more of a flat fee cost. Whether you use the water or not, you are going to pay for it. So you have to think about what you're going to do. So if you are going to drill a well, maybe you buy a piece of property that already has a well on it, or you have to drill for water. And when you do that, you could drill, and no matter what you pay to have drilled, you're out that money to drill for water. Because if you find water, great. If you don't, you're gonna have to drill in another location. And I've seen lots of people where maybe their neighbor has a well and it's a perfect producing well, and then somebody drills and they don't drill and find water. So you just have to take that into account. Now, the other thing is, if there is a well that's there, you want to make sure that it's permitted, and then you want to make sure that if the well is there, that it's usable, that the pump works, and that water comes out at a flow rate that is acceptable to you. Item number 3 that's very important is your septic system or your sewer system. So like I said, in some of those areas that have established neighborhoods, if that's where you want to be, they might have sewer lines already out there that you could tap into, but you're still going to have to figure out how you're going to do that. So you're going to have to probably dig a line out to where the sewer line is. And if you do that, then that's going to cost you money, obviously, the excavating and how far distance you have to put that pipe in. So that's something to take into consideration. If you're going to put in a septic tank, then that's a whole another permitting process. There's, again, depending on what county you're in, different permitting processes that you need to go through in order to get your septic installed. So your first thing is you're going to have to dig a hole in the ground, and that hole will have to be acceptable for where you're putting the septic. So you're going to have to make sure that your property is big enough to have a septic system, because you're going to need a septic system, you're going to need a leach field, and it's got to be so far away from your well in order to put that in. So these are all things that you have to think about when you're looking at land. Now, after you put the hole in the ground and you've dug that all up, or you've paid somebody to dig that up, then you have to put a septic tank in, and then you need your septic system. And your septic system has to be big enough for the house that you're building. So depending on if it's 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms, the size of your tank and the size of your leach field will matter. So you have to really consider that when planning to build. Then you'll have your final inspection, your final permitting. And once you actually build your home, not until you actually build your home, at least in most counties, you'll have to get a use permit for your septic tank. So to know that it is operable and everything is working and ready to go. Also, when you sell your home, if you have a mountain home, that is something that also has to be done. Either your septic system has to be pumped, or you also get your use permit so that you can sell the home as well as live in it when it's a brand new home on a piece of property. Item number 4, you're going to want to know how big your property is and know where your boundaries are, so that you A, do know where you could build, B, know where you could put your septic system and find out if it's viable, and also know where you could drill your well. So very important things. And so either sometimes when you're buying land, somebody might have already surveyed it, or you might want to pay for a new survey, or there might be an ILC, which is an improvement location certificate, which some title companies have if it's an established area. Item number 5, you're going to want to know if your land is in a HOA or a POA, which would be a property association or a homeowners association. If your property is in one of those areas, or you're buying a piece of land that is in one of those areas, there might be restrictions based on what type of building you can build, how you build your septic system, what you can and can't do, and what types of buildings you can build. So take that into consideration if you're looking for land to build on. I've had lots of people where I've helped them decide to look for land. Some of them have gone on and bought the land. Some of them have been pretty experienced in knowing what they're doing when it comes to building, and others have been very unexperienced and gotten help from others. So, and then thirdly, I've had a lot of other people decide, this is not for me. I'm just going to look for a nice little cabin that maybe has a well and a septic already installed, and all I have to do is think about building onto the property because I kind of know where I stand with everything. So those are your 3 options when it kind of comes to, or thinking about building and living in the foothills or the mountains that's close to the Denver metro area. So if you have any questions about eating, sleeping, or living in the Denver metro area or up in the foothills that are commutable to Denver, I can always help you out. So make sure you reach out to me. Stay tuned for the next video, and as always, make it an awesome day.